Welcome to So True, and today's devotional is entitled It's Just for One Night, and it's based on the text of 1 Peter 1 verses 6 through 7. The inimitable and inspiring C.H. Spurgeon once said, "Often when I've been traveling on the continent, I've been obliged to put up at a hotel that was full, where the room was so inconvenient that it scarcely furnished any accommodations at all. But we have said, oh, never mind. We are off in the morning. What does it matter for one night? So as we are soon to be gone, and the time of our departure is imminent, let us not be ruffling our tempers about trifles, nor raise evil spirits around us by cavilling and finding fault. Take things as you find them, for we shall soon be up and away." Spurgeon's perspective is a good one, is it not? Why should Christians get all stressed out or bummed out over this temporary life with its many discomforts and difficulties when we know that we shall soon be up and away to heaven and the Father's house, either by death or the rapture? Isn't that Jesus' promise in John 14, 1-6? Our stay and suffering in this life is, comparatively speaking, for one night only, when contrasted to the long tomorrow of eternity, and pleasures forevermore at the right hand of God, ours to enjoy endlessly. That's the promise of Psalm 16, verse 11. The reality is that our weeping may endure for a night, but only a night. And then there will come that morning without sunset in the presence of God. If you want a verse for that, take some time and read Psalm 30, verse 5. Spurgeon, the great English Baptist, is challenging us in the face of poor health, loneliness, satanic attack, adverse circumstances, betrayal, and threats, to say to ourselves, by faith, oh, never mind, we are off in the morning. What does it matter for one night? In fact, as I reflected on this challenge, I was reminded of several places in the Bible where this very perspective of passing sorrow and permanent joy, of a bad night giving way to a better day, is to be found. For example, what about Romans 8, verse 18, where Paul reminds us that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Or again, what about 2 Corinthians 4, verse 17, where Paul reminds us that our light affliction, which is but for a moment, is working for us an eternal weight of glory. And then the verse I referenced right at the beginning of this devotional, 1 Peter 1, verses 6 and 7, where Peter reminds us to quote, "In this you greatly rejoice, that though now for a little while, if need be, you have been grieved by various trials, that the genuineness of your faith, being much more precious than gold that perishes, though it be tested by fire, may be found to the praise, honor, and glory at the revelation of Jesus Christ." Read those verses again, and you will see that this life is but a little while, a moment, compared to eternity in heaven with Christ. In a very real sense, then, our life, with all of its losses and crosses, compared to the afterlife, is like putting up with a dirty, dingy, damp hotel room for one night. Spurgeon's right. Regardless of the pain, the tears, the heartache, the dark night of the soul, oh, never mind. We are off in the morning. What does it matter for one night? Now you would understand we're not minimizing your sorrow or your tears or your fears. We're highlighting, we're amplifying the perspective that eternity brings to that horrible moment. And it will help us live through that moment and see it as a moment. We need the perspective of a boy I read about who shattered his back at age 1 and endured 13 years in hospital before his 17th birthday. And when he was asked by a pastor who was interviewing him before a listening congregation if he was bitter with God, the boy replied, the teenager replied, "God's got all of eternity to make it up to me." Isn't that a wonderful perspective? And God will make it up to us. He's got all eternity to do it.